Hello and welcome to another incredible episode of the Beyond Enough podcast. I'm so excited to have another beautiful, incredible guest here, and we also have Leo in the background. So that's mum life for you, that's what happens. But we are going to have the most incredible conversation, and I could not be more excited to introduce the incredible Kelly, and she's going to tell us a little bit about who she is and what she is bringing to the table, and then we're going to dive into your stories, my girl, and how we got here.
Oh, yes. Amy, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. So you want me to introduce myself?
Yes, I do, my love.
I will. I'm taking the stage. So I'm a neuroscience manifestation coach. I don't believe in the hacks, the bullshit, the fluff, none of that. We get to the root of what's going on in your subconscious mind so that you can actually rewire to remove lack, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, not enough, and move forward, creating the wealth, the success, the abundance that's meant for you, that you've always desired with ease. And so that's what we do here with quantum physics, neurolinguistic programming, all the science, baby. No fluff, but we don't lose the magic.
I'm obsessed. I think there are so many ways I think that we can go through a healing journey, a growth and expansion journey, but I love the way you bring this no bullshit attitude to but it also feels very organic and very nurturing, if that makes sense.
Yes. Thank you. That's one thing we don't want to lose, because as we are, and thank you for saying that, I have a lot of Cancer in my chart, so I am the nurturing lady. But as we are removing very old beliefs that can stem back from 0 to 7 in the womb, past life, and generational, some of these run so deep. So to have that nurturing support to know, A, you're human, B, just because you have these beliefs doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you, doesn't mean that you're unfixable, doesn't mean that you're unlovable, right? Like, we get to have that space held for us in our transformation so that we can fully expand and move forward.
Yes, I love that. And I'm also very much on that level. Like, that's so important to me, to hold people in love while you take them through what is potentially, there are so many awful things that happen to people all the time, but when you start to revisit that and heal through it, it can get ugly. Like, you need to be able to hold people in that space with so much love and compassion and teach them how to have love and compassion, right? Because that's something that I think especially women don't naturally give to themselves.
Yeah, correct. And I think that we just forget that we're humans, and it's okay to have a human experience, and we don't have to make it mean anything about us. Like, if we're in a moment, maybe this week, or as those are listening, of like, oh my God, I just feel like nothing's working, or I'm doubting myself, or whatever, it's just temporary. And it's okay to feel those feelings. It doesn't mean anything about you, and it's not the ultimate truth. It's just a temporary feeling that can pass if you allow yourself to feel it.
But 100%. And I think this is something I love doing with my clients, is showing them how to feel their feelings. Just as simple, it sounds so simple. When you acknowledge, I'm so angry, or I feel really a lot of shame around this experience that I had, it removes its power over you.
Yes, it really does. And it's so interesting because I don't think that we're really taught to feel our feelings. We're just taught to sweep it under the rug, hustle, move forward, go, go, go. And we wonder why we can't receive more abundance, receive more success, receive more wealth, more love, more joy, whatever it is that we want, when we haven't even processed those unresolved emotions that are like clogging up our channels of receiving.
1,000,000,000%. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm so interested in your journey and how it came to be, like, not just the badass babe, like, how did it come that you have this like wealth of knowledge in all of these areas, right? Because there's like, it's not just like one. You're not just like, I'm going to help you manifest your dreams. You're like, I'm going to bring the quantums. I'm going to bring the science and take women through this incredible journey to, I guess, rewiring their level of success, their level of wealth, all of these things that you incredibly help women with.
Yes, I love this question. So I came into the manifestation world in this spiritual woo-woo way, as some call it, which there's nothing wrong with that. We love that. And my interest and curiosities peaked, honestly, when I was 9 years old, when I had spell books. And then societal programming happened, and I was called weird, so I suppressed that for a while. And then crystals came my way, oracle card decks came my way, and I was like, I love this. I love connecting to my higher self. And then yoga teacher training came my way, loved that. So when I became a yoga teacher, this was like in the moment, my dream, my goal, full-time yoga teacher, right? And I was working full-time, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. This is gonna be great. So I became a full-time yoga teacher, and then I accidentally manifested becoming globally known. There's this app called Asana Rebel, which you may be familiar with. And I was the first person in history to create their very own collection. And so that was huge. And it's everyone's favorite. It's my favorite.
Obviously.
And I remember being like, this is the coolest thing in the world. I set a goal, I did it, and beyond, I can do fucking anything. And then what tends to happen is we identify as our goal. We identify as our achievements. And my soul and higher self was calling me to expand for something more. And I, like old patterns, suppress that, right? And for those who are listening, if you start to hear, feel, see, or know, I'm meant for more, let yourself follow it. Just like little energetic breadcrumbs. Just follow it and follow your curiosities. Because I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, okay? So take this with a grain of salt. But I suppressed that for about a year and a half. And then I had a massive spiritual awakening, massive loss, molar pregnancy where I couldn't medically get pregnant for 10 months for fear of abnormal cells turning to cancer. So it was horrible. And speaking of not feeling your feelings, I numbed out with wine and weed like every single night. I didn't want to feel my feelings. And then one day I finally did. And through those feelings, it was like, you're allowed to expand. You're allowed to want something more for yourself, and it's okay to change and grow. And in that like big awakening and permission slip, a training came my way for neurolinguistic programming, hypnotherapy, EFT tapping, and it opened up my eyes to epigenetics and quantum physics. And I was like, I had no idea that any of this existed. I only knew about the spiritual side, not the science side. And when I was in that phase of desiring something so badly and being told I wasn't allowed to have it, aka have a baby, I was like, okay, I feel out of control. So what can I control? My brain. My knowledge, and I'm going to decide to feel good in a situation where most people wouldn't feel good. And so that's where my journey really took off and expanded.
I mean, firstly, thank you so much for being so open and sharing that, because I think the more we share the real gritty and shitty ups and downs of what it took, right, to get to where you are. And also, I love this point of like, I hear this a lot. I had what other people would have said, this success. Like you've gone first, you've got this huge success with is it an app? I'm gonna have to look it out now. Like I'm gonna have to look it up. So from the outside, right, like it looks like you have it all. Like why on earth would you want to pursue something different when you've got so much success in this field? Yeah. But actually that's like the essence of going beyond, right? Like actually intentionally choosing something that really lights a fire in your belly.
Exactly. And I think this is the thing that a lot of people don't talk about, because when you create what you want, it's almost like we pull in these stories of, you should be grateful. You should be happy. You shouldn't desire more for yourself. Who are you? Right? And it took me a long time to shift that identity from yoga teacher to manifestation coach. Right? And even just, I don't even like giving myself a label, to be honest, but it took me a long time to shed the identity of yoga teacher.
Yes. It comes with it so much. Like so much of your title, like we pin so much of our worth around a title rather than and I think that's what keeps a lot of people, not just women, like in corporate for so long, because they build up to this certain title, this certain grade, and then it's really hard to let go of that for something that you want, because as you say, society's saying you should be so grateful, You should be so grateful that you have this CEO title or, you know, this upper management title. How dare you want something completely wacky,
Exactly.
like, you know?
Yes, always. Yeah. And it's so interesting because your identity is how you show up. It's how you move. It's how you behave. So when I was identifying as a yoga teacher, and then shifting to manifestation coach, I was like, it was almost like I was trying to install this like new hard drive into an outdated computer. And it just literally wasn't computing. It was such a mismatch. And I was having this huge internal battle of what I wanted and where I am. And it was just like this internal conflict and this push and pull day in and day out, which is like that wobbly energy, you know, when you don't feel solid and who the fuck you are.
Girl, I was literally just speaking about this, and this whole concept of like having one foot in the door and one foot already out. And
yes,
you cannot be like that in business. It shows in your marketing, it shows in every communication that you have. What I guess are your accelerator tips for the women who have that kind of one foot in and one foot out and still maybe grasping on to their previous identity? What do you think is that thing that really helps solidify stepping into your new identity?
Yeah, so it's really as simple as a decision, right? And there are different layers to this, but let it be easy, let it be light, let it be freeing, and just simply decide. Just simply decide what it is that you want for yourself, where you're going, and own it without being like, oh, I'm allowed to have this because, I'm allowed to desire this because. Don't justify it. Don't feel like you have to owe it to anyone. Just commit and decide to yourself and allow yourself to show up for you, to show up for your desires, to show up for your movement, your vision, your mission, your message. Like, commit to you, right? And also there's this other piece where it's safe to let that old part of you go, right? And it's not like a death, as in like, oh my God, I have to have this huge ceremony unless you want to, but it's honoring that part of you, that identity, those behaviors, those patterns, those stories, those beliefs that come with that identity, and just honoring her and thanking her and forgiving her and allowing you to bring her with you, right? It's not like this, oh my God, I have to do all these things and do all this inner work. It's like, just bring her the fuck with you and give yourself permission to move forward, because there's parts of her that are comforting and safe, because the only reason you're not allowing yourself to fully go into your new identity is because it's unknown and unfamiliar. That feels uncertain, and that equates in your subconscious mind and body to it's uncertain.
Right? I love that. And I again, coming back to, you know, I guess women who are at that stage, it's okay, I think anyway, it's okay to not be perfect as you are. You can still move forward being exactly the person that you are now. And we're talking about shifting identity, and we're talking about, you know, stepping into this next stage, this next era, this next identity. But actually, that will not fully happen until you accept who you are right now and where you have to grow, but also your strengths. And I feel like women really struggle more with the self-awareness around what they're good at.
Yes, and that's because we were taught to believe that, oh, what you are an expert in, it has to be so hard. It has to be like, oh, this like really hard, forceful, pressury thing. And the truth is, what you are an expert in and natural in, it is so effortless to you that you don't even realize it. But we were tricked and taught by society that to be an expert, it has to be really hard, and it has to come with 33 years of experience. And I'm not discrediting that. Like, we love that. We love experience and knowledge. But the truth is, what you are just a natural at, you were born with that magic, with that message. And it's so effortless to you that at times you don't even see how powerful and potent you are, and how you've been an expert in this craft, in this skill since birth. You just haven't allowed yourself to see it because you thought it had to come at a cost. It had to be hard. It had to be like, I don't know, years and years and years to uncover it, but it's always been there.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that. And I think coming back to what you said earlier, like, make that decision, make that internal decision to be like, I'm going to honor exactly what I'm an expert at and be okay with not having to have the struggle along the way and just owning it.
Yes. Yes. It's owning it. And I was just having this conversation with one of my clients because it's very easy for us to be like, things are just happening in my business. Life is just happening. And then we forget that we are the ones in control. We forget that we are the ones driving the car or steering the ship or whatever the hell, right? Like we forget that we are the ones. And so if at any point you ever feel out of control and life is just happening to you in that moment, you get to make a decision. That decision brings you into choice, and that choice brings you into control.
Yes, and it really does. And I think it's so easy, especially I think if you are in the online space, sometimes we do get bogged down in like overcomplicating things. Like overcomplicating everything and feeling like we need another course, we need another, I don't know, qualification, or we need another this or another that, or actually I'm only qualified in like 2 disciplines. I'm gonna go and do another 2 courses. And then I think what happens is like we get caught as a perpetual student and we never implement anything.
Yes. And that's I need more knowledge so that I can be the expert. I need more of this so that I can have a successful business. And all that is just being improving energy. I need to prove myself. You don't need to prove anything. You actually have nothing to prove. You just simply get to be. You get to be you. You get to do what you want. You get to share the skills that you already have, own, and possess. And you get to create, show up, and lead from there.
Yes, we do. I am obsessed. What do you think for you were those key pivotal moments in your own journey to getting to that point of being like, I'm going to own this. I'm not allowed to prove anything to anyone. I am just going to shine my light on the motherfucking world.
Yes. I was just sick of my own bullshit. You know, when you start to be like, okay, and here's the thing, and here's what I want to share. You start to see other people around you creating success or whatever it is in their business that you desire. And you're like, they can have that. Why can't I? And then it's like, why do I keep questioning myself? Why do I keep doubting myself? Why do I keep thinking I'm not enough? Why do I keep thinking I'm doing it wrong? Why do I keep thinking something's missing? It's not working. Why do I keep thinking that? It's you. It was me who kept having those thoughts on repeat, which was telling to me, I need to rewire my brain. I need to and get to have new belief systems to back me. I need to and get to have a new identity that supports me and where I'm going. Right? So I was tired of my own bullshit, habits, patterns. I was tired of this. Posting on social media, being like, I'm amazing. And then looking at how many people liked it and then deciding it wasn't good enough, right? Or putting something on my stories, inviting people into my program or offering and being like, oh my God, only 11 people viewed my stories. It's not enough. It's not working. And then I would literally put my foot on the gas to go all the way in and then look at stupid metrics on social media to decide if it was working or not, and then foot off the gas, unplug, and then go back to my old beliefs, habits, and patterns. That's the cycle I was tired of. That's the cycle where you get stuck in and you just perpetuate more and more and more of. So those were pivotal moments for me where I was like, this isn't how I want to run my business. This isn't how I want to show up. This isn't how I want to lead. And I no longer want to decide that I'm successful or not based off of anything outside of me.
Yes. And I thank you again for sharing that, because I think there are so many women who will listen to this and think they will be in that situation right now. Like they will be experiencing that right now. And I love that we are able to, as women further down the journey, say, that was me too. Like that's something that I learned through, and it is something that you can also learn through. And none of that means anything. Like none of these vanity metrics get to take away all of the experience, not even maybe in your field of expertise, but the person that you are, the experiences that you've had, like the strength that you've found to even get to where you are. Because I think even just to start a business, to step into entrepreneurship, that is a massive deal. Like you already have to have a certain amount of like, okay, I'm going to do this in order to even begin the business, right?
Yes. Yeah. And again, all of it is simply a decision. It's a decision and it's a choice. Oh, and what I wanted to say, I was like, oh, I'll make a point on this. So wherever you are in your business or in your life, and if you see around you other people creating, having, and receiving what it is that you want, instead of being like, oh, F them, so easy for them, it's not easy for me, right? Which your subconscious then will actually limit you from having that, because it thinks that that's going to make you resentful and judgy, and we don't want that. That's another story. But anywho, when you see these things around you happening that you want, it is a sign from the universe, God, whoever, whatever you believe in, that it's possible. I'm showing you it's possible. And I'm showing you through other people around you. So you have a choice to lean into the possibility of amazing, this can happen for me too. Or you can be like, it's never going to happen to me. It's only going to happen to them. Again, in that moment, it's a choice.
100%. I often wonder, community has been a massive thing for me in terms of like finding that evidence. Because for me, I think where I grew up, and certainly my family, my parents, my immediate kind of network was very much in that scarcity, in that very kind of judgmental, this only happens to like certain elite people and money is scarce and you can't start a business. Like I think they, to be fair, still don't understand what I do, but I think finding community who actually I could find that positive evidence within was really helpful for me. What's your thoughts on kind of building up your network and your female community? And do you feel like that's central to building up your business?
Yes, because it's activating to have others around you who are like, I desire more for myself. Because like you said, how many of us grew up in a place where it's like, this is it? And then you hear, this is it. You work 9 to 5, you pay mortgage, you have a car, you have kids. This is it. This is as good as it gets. It's like there's so many people around us who have that perspective on life. So it can feel very isolating when you are creating your own business and building your business, especially for people who don't get it. So yes, I think it's everything to be surrounded by a community network and have like masterminds where people are moving in the same direction. It's very validating. It's very activating. It's energizing. And we need that to not feel alone.
Yeah, 100%. And it's something though that again, to your point of like making that decision, like I think you have to make a decision consciously to be like, I'm going to search for these places that are much healthier for me to be in.
Yeah.
And it takes you being brave and being authentic to find those spaces, places, people.
Yes, it does. Yeah, and it also takes discernment, right? Because sometimes we can attract, and I'm not saying this to be whatever, but it is very important to be discerning because you want to be with aligned people, right? And also, I don't believe in competition because I love that you and I connected, and I've gotten to the point where I'm very good at discernment, where I can be like, oh my God, I can just tell you and your social media and your energy that we are like vibing, we're aligned, right? And I want more people like that in my life, in my network, in my vortex. And when you have that desire and have that intention, it's funny how the universe, how God brings you more of that.
Girl, I often say this to my own clients and to just generally on socials and anywhere else that I speak. It is incredible the people that you will draw into your life when you finally decide what kind of people you want in your life.
Yes. Yes. And again, decide.
Make that decision and be so bold and unapologetic in what you're calling in that the universe has no option but to deliver these people to your plate, if you like. Like it gets to be really easy, but it does take, I guess, like, you know, what we've been saying, developing that kind of, okay, what are these patterns, behaviors, and all the things that actually I could make significant changes in and really dial down on or dial up on, which is the case most of the time, to make sure that I am actually the woman who can hold conversations with people that I want, rather than being so stuck in fear that I'm missing the opportunity all the time. Excuse me.